What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. With the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today we have to discuss the Oversight Committee hearing on sanctuary cities that's going on right now, and it's still happening right now live as I'm recording. It's been happening for about I want to say 4 to 5 hours now. A lot is coming out of it. These sanctuary city mayors are getting hammered, but what I want to play for you right now is when Byron Donalds went scorched earth on these sanctuary city mayors concerning the absurd spending on illegal immigrants in their city. And he particularly humiliated the Emperor of the People's Republic of Chicago, Brandon Johnston. Oh my God, he made him look like a fool. But then again, we all know Brandon Johnston is a fool because I cover him frequently on this channel. So that's just an undeniable fact. But let's get into this right now. Like I said, so much is coming out of this hearing, but I just want to play this for you right now because Byron Donalds completely torches these guys.
Mayor Johnston of Denver, yes, you lamented earlier that there were 10 to 11 buses coming per day to your city. Did you ever talk to Joe Biden about why this was happening to your community?
Thank you, Congressman. I both reached out to Governor Abbott from Texas. He didn't respond, and I did.
Why would you reach out to Governor Abbott of Texas when it is Joe Biden, the former commander-in-chief, that opened up our borders? Why didn't you talk to him?
Well, our buses directly were being sent from Governor Abbott in Texas, so that was why we reached out to say we're happy to collaborate on a coordinated entry system. We understand no one state or no one city should bear the entire brunt of this, but let's collaborate. But I did.
So I'm glad you said that, because that brings me to my next point. Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis, when they started moving illegal aliens out of their states who were bearing the brunt of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were doing, and they've sent them to Denver, they sent them to Chicago, they sent them to New York, they sent them to Martha's Vineyard. The reason why they did that is because you four could hide behind the realities of illegal immigration on border towns all through our country and on cities and states who did not want to see illegal immigration, but did not have the political representation to go to the White House. And only when it showed up on your doorstep did you get upset. Mayor Johnston, coming back to you, how much did your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a round number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around $79 million since 2022.
$79 million. Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because I don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%. And if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone.
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing mayor.
Which is the same
Adams,
number that
how
was
much did
sent
the city
from us
of New York
from the
actually
state
spend
of
on
Texas.
illegal immigration?
Let's hear that. You're the mayor of the city. You don't have the numbers right in front of you? Okay, that's why you're a failing mayor. Let's listen to that one more time, and this is almost over.
The same percentage of the state of 24 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because I don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%. And if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone.
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing mayor.
Which is
Mayor
the same
Adams,
number that was sent from us
How much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number. And if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
$6.9 billion of taxpayers.
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
You don't
services,
ask
so
about
we
how
don't
much
have
money
that
the city of Boston has spent on illegal immigration?
We
Are
don't
you out of your
distinguish
mind?
between immigration status.
Do you
as
manage
part
your
of our
budget
city
or not,
policies.
Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep our
Mayor
city
Wu,
safe.
do you manage
we
your
have
budget
the
or not?
numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
The city
of
of Boston
the city of
is
Boston.
sick of
I'm
having people
reclaiming my
outside
time.
Boston
Mr.
telling
Bear,
us what
Mr.
we
Bear, I have
need.
a question for you because I understand Cato's perspective when it comes to illegal immigration.
So we'll stop it right there. There's only about maybe 30 more seconds or 45 more seconds left in Byron Donalds, going scorched earth in that moment. But what this highlights, especially when you're talking about those that are hard-headed like Michelle Wu, and especially when you're talking about someone like Brandon Johnston, is that they simply don't care. They don't care about the citizen population and what the citizen population actually thinks and what they actually feels, so much so that it's not even important enough to them to keep track of how much money is actually being spent on illegal immigration. One of the number one topics of this election, if it wasn't number one, it would continuously go back and forth between the economy and illegal immigration, economy and illegal immigration. And these people are so out of touch and can care less with what you think, so much so to the degree that they're not even keeping track of the books concerning how much money is actually being spent on this. Byron Donalds did a wonderful job exposing this. And so many of the other congressmen and women did a wonderful job of what I've seen thus far at just exposing the hypocrisy, the foolishness, and the nonsense of having your city being designated as a sanctuary city, as well as the support of illegal immigration overall whatsoever, exposing the fact that these people just cannot admit that Joe Biden is the one who deliberately created the migrant crisis. They completely skip and maneuver right over that just to want to somehow blame Donald Trump and Greg Abbott when they're not the ones who created the problem. Joe Biden created the issue. They keep talking about a broken immigration system. The immigration system isn't broken. Donald Trump is proving that right now. We're seeing record low border crossings, the lowest in about 25 years that we're seeing under Donald Trump. Nothing is broken. It's only broken when the Democrats get in trouble, when the Democrats get voted into office. Then all of a sudden it's broken, not because it's legitimately broken, but because they intentionally open the borders up to let everybody wreak havoc in their cities, to which now you have cities like Chicago, like New York, that are in Los Angeles as well, with these huge billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar deficits, almost on the brink of going bankrupt in order to fund Joe Biden's migrant crisis. Unbelievable. I want to leave you guys with this as we close out. I was watching a clip earlier from Stephen A. Smith with Cuomo. I believe he was on News Nation, and they're discussing politics, obviously, right? But they were specifically talking about Byron Donalds. And Stephen A. Smith said something very interesting. When it comes to the Democrats, because we all know that they're failing miserably with their 21% approval rating with the American voter overall, he said that the Democrats don't have an answer for Byron Donalds. And if Byron Donalds chooses to run for president, which I don't believe that would happen in 2028, right? Or 2032 for that matter. It would most likely be after that. But he said if Byron Donalds runs for president, there's no answer that the Democrats actually have for him. And I'm curious to what you guys think about that. I want to play this clip here. And at the end of the clip, the question stands. Do you think that Byron Donalds could successfully run for president? Do the Democrats actually have an answer for him post-Trump and Vance, we'll say, right? And that depends on if, Vance even runs and if Donald Trump chooses to, endorse Vance, to which right now Donald Trump has already stated it's too soon for me to be endorsing anybody when my presidency just started. But I want to leave you guys with that question as we watch this clip here. So let's take a listen to this and then we'll revisit that question after I play this clip with Stephen A. Smith and Cuomo.
When you look at Byron Donalds, do you say, irregardless of how you feel about him, I can take him?
Byron Donalds?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I think I listen, I've watched him get interviewed. I've watched him speak. And although I don't like his flagrant support of Trump, where he shoves aside just anything that Trump has done, when you get into the weeds talking politics with this man about what conservatives offer compared to Democrats, I find it very difficult to imagine a Democrat in front of him being able to beat him on the issues, because I think he knows what he's talking about. And I think he speaks in a way that resonates with an audience. So he has the facts. He has inside knowledge about what takes place. And on top of it all, he has the personality where he's feisty enough to come back at you and resonate with a viewing audience. I don't see a lot of that on the Democratic side. Josh Shapiro, I think, is a star, has that kind of potential. He's entrenched in Pennsylvania as its governor.
You think Josh Shapiro, Byron Donald, who wins?
I think Byron Donald would probably win in a close fight with that. And just in terms of their styles and how they come at one another, I think Wes Moore is a wild card. I find Wes Moore to be elite and highly impressive. And he knows when to turn it on and when to dial it back.
Wes Moore has no weakness.
None.
No weakness. Now
So what do you guys think about that? I'm curious your opinion on that, because when it comes to Byron Donalds, I've watched many of his, interviews in hostile territory, you can say, when it comes to CNN or MSNBC. Honestly, with maybe the exception of JD Vance, I don't think I've seen a politician who is more calm under fire when going back and forth with the quote opposition. To which he's never shaken, and they're never able to really throw him off his game at all. I just haven't seen it happen yet. And when he speaks, he does know what he's talking about. I just haven't seen anyone throw Byron Donalds off his game yet. So, like I said, I'll leave you guys with this, with what Stephen A. Smith said. Do you see anybody who can challenge Byron Donalds within the DNC if he actually chose to run for president? And when do you believe would be a good time for him to run for president? When would be a good time for Byron Donalds to run for president? I could not see it all 2028 because he's actually running for governor, if I'm not mistaken. But, in the relatively near future, maybe 2032 or maybe after that, let me know what you guys think. And could he beat Wes Moore? Could he beat Wes Moore if he ran up against him? You guys let me know in the comment section below. I'll leave you all with that. Thank you all for your time. Until the next video, peace. Have a great afternoon. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you're new to the channel, share this video on your social media platforms. And also don't forget to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well.